Okay, we are reading Chapter 2 of Flying Solo by Ralph Fletcher. So, Chapter 2, Bastian Fauvell. The instant Bastian opened his eyes, he saw Barkley, curled up at the edge of his bed, staring up with eyes the color of gold coins. Come on, boy, he whispered. Barkley bounded forward and began eagerly licking his face. Hey, take it easy. Bastian looked down at the puppy. Part German Shepherd and part Retriever, Barkley had fur and eyes the same golden color. You're going on a big trip today, he told the puppy. You won't see me for a couple days, but you'll be okay. Really, you'll do great. Here, go get it. He took a little Nerf football and threw it. This sent the puppy scampering madly across the room. Barkley grabbed the football and brought it back to Bastian. Come on, Bastian, Mom yelled. You don't want to be late. It's your last day of school. Good boy, Bastian said, taking the football. He got out of bed. Last day of school. He repeated it over and over. By now, moving was no big deal. He had moved before and he'd move again. For Air Force brats, that's how it would always be. 12 years old, and this would be his eighth move. He could rattle off the 8 different bases for anyone who cared to listen. Kadena Air Force Base in Okinawa, Langley Air Force Base in Virginia, Nellis Air Force Base in Nevada, Eglin Air Force Base in Florida, Luke Air Force Base in Arizona, Maxwell Air Force Base in Alabama, Seymour Johnson Air Force Base in North Carolina, Shaw Air Force Base in South Carolina. He couldn't remember Okinawa. He'd been just a baby then, but he could remember all the other places, every military base or town, every cramped apartment and officers' barracks, the PXs and commissaries, and all his best friends, Chad, Drew, Troy, Connor, John. Their pictures were taped into his scrapbook. Now his father was being transferred to Hickson Air Force Base in Honolulu, Hawaii. Bastian didn't mind that. Hawaii was a place he'd always wanted to see. Moving again would be a cinch if it wasn't for Barkley and the quarantine. When Dad first explained about the quarantine, Bastian couldn't believe it. The military authorities wanted to prevent contagious germs from contaminating Hawaiian animals. They were worried that any animal coming into Hawaii might have a disease it could give to other animals. That's why they had to quarantine. They had strict rules. Any dog coming into Hawaii had to be quarantined, kept away from itself, until they were sure the dog didn't have any contagious disease. Barkley would be quarantined for 4 months. That's crazy. Barkley doesn't have any disease, he told his dad. I know, but the military makes the rules and we have to follow them. They can't take any chances. There's no exceptions. Well, that's the stupidest rule I've ever heard. I know it will be hard for you, Dad said, but it's going to be even harder on Barkley. Do you really want to put a puppy through all that? It's something to think about, Bastian. I know you love him, but maybe you should consider leaving Barkley here. Leave him here? Are you kidding? I'm sure we could find a family who could take care of him. No way. I want my dog. All right then. Can't I visit him when he's quarantined? Yes, but I'm warning you, it's still going to be hard. In the kitchen, his mother was standing on a stepladder, taking plates from a cabinet. There were boxes everywhere. Got anything to eat, Ma? There's cereal, she said. Shredded wheat. Shredded wheat, he groaned. Why don't they just call it shredded newspaper? That's how it tastes. This isn't a restaurant, she retorted, and I can't stop to fix you anything else because I've got to pack this kitchen. Whistling, Dad walked into the kitchen. He was wearing a crispy he was wearing a crisply ironed uniform, hair neatly combed and gleaming. Is your room all packed? He asked. No. You need to do that first thing after school, he said. We've got to be completely packed tonight. We're leaving tomorrow morning at dark 30. Okay. Bastian poured a bowl of shredded wheat. Barkley sat on the floor watching Bastian shovel the cereal into his mouth. The Nerf football was resting between the puppy's paws. What time does Barkley's flight leave tonight? He asked Dad. 6 o'clock sharp, he said. I'm coming to the airport, Bastian said, picking Barkley up. You'll get to Hawaii first, you lucky dog. At the airport, they would give Barkley a shot to make him sleepy for the long flight to Hawaii. Bastian pictured the puppy, scared and alone on the plane. Then the quarantine. 4 months. 122 days of solitary confinement in a cage. Or maybe there would be other dogs. He didn't know. I'm going to visit you every day, Bastian promised, and twice on Saturdays, okay? Barkley looked up hopefully. The phone rang. Yo, Bastian. It was John Leclerc, his best friend at school. Hey, what's up? Not much, John said. I'm staying home today. Very bad stomachache. I was thinking you might have one too. Do you? I can't, Bastian said, grinning. It's my last day. I thought your last day was Monday. Dad changed his mind. We're leaving tomorrow. I gotta pack my stuff right after school. Okay, it's your funeral, John said. Just don't blame me if you die of boredom today. Yeah. Hey, I guess I won't see you before you move. Have a nice life. Bastian threw Barkley the Nerf football, and the dog caught it in his mouth. The puppy looked up, eyes full of golden light and perfect trust. Yeah, you too. Oh, and that's the end of chapter 2.